Hey everybody, it's Missy again, bringing you another layout in my series of using up some of my older supplies. In my last video, I used a lot of Amy Tangerine Rise Shine, and this paper is also from that collection. And this paper is so challenging for me to use. I don't know why dark kraft is so hard for me to use. I think it's just because it's a dark color, and I don't know, it just always seems to be the one paper that goes to the bottom of the stack, and I wind up putting it on my shelf and I never use it. So I challenged myself to use this paper, and you're not going to believe the transformation that this paper undergoes. So I'm going to try to use this side of it with the triangles, and I had an idea in my head, and you know how that always goes. So bear with me. Probably a lot of this right here, what I'm doing, you're going to think, oh my gosh, what is this? But just hang in there. It gets better. So I'm using some Artist Loft acrylic white paint, and I drew a square using a pencil and my ruler, covered it with some paint, let it dry, and now I'm going to come in with some gelatos. And my idea was to make this nice multicolored, almost rainbow-like watercolor background on top of this white paint, and I wanted to be able to see some of those triangles through the paint, and you can still see some of them, but I wanted to get a little bit of a white base going here so I can add all of these bright colors. Well, I do that and it's pretty, but I don't know if I like it, so I kind of took the approach to this of just go for it. I said this in my other stash video that I tend to overthink things quite a bit, and for this one I just said, if you have an idea in your head, go for it, don't overthink it. So that's what I'm doing here. I used a couple of pink gelatos and used pretty much a lot of water there with my brush to kind of smudge them around. Took my heat gun to the pink part and then just decided to come in with some other colors. And I'm not trying to be neat about this. I just want to fill this in and make it just a lot of different colors together. Kind of like a rainbow watercolor collage, I guess you could say. And because I hadn't used my gelatos like this in a long time, and I wanted to use things that I hadn't tried in a while. And so, you know, this is pretty. I love all of these colors. I love doing this technique. And I used acrylic paint on the background instead of gesso because I knew it would cover the dark kraft quicker because it's thicker than gesso. And at this point, I kept going and I thought, what am I going to do with this? You know, it was sort of just an experiment, and while all that color is very pretty, I felt like I needed some more, so I grabbed some of my shimmers that are my go-to colors that I always pretty much just leave right there on my desk. Pinks, greens, yellows. Of course, Jenny B. Blue is going to come in the mix because that is my favorite color. Some orange. I think I used Jenny B. Blue on this one. Maybe I didn't. Well, that's a first. So I just kind of kept going. Okay, maybe I didn't use Jenny B. Blue. Anyway, I got this dry, and at this point I'm like, no, thumbs down for me. I don't know what this is. I just don't know. So I used my Cameo, and I used some white cardstock here and cut out some rose shapes, and these are from the Silhouette store. I've had them in my Silhouette library for ages, and I've used these one other time, I think, on one of my Bella Boulevard layouts. So I cut these out in white, and I thought, I'm just going to place these on top of all of this color and glue them down maybe and use that as my background. But something is still bugging me. I think it is the kraft paper around the edges. It's just that dark brown color. It just, I don't know, it is so hard for me to use it. I like the light kraft cardstock, but this dark, I don't know, it just does not gel with me for some reason. So I keep going here, and these flowers are gorgeous. I love how all those colors come through the petals, and they would look really cool with the picture. I changed my idea. I'm going to use this picture of my daughter, And I'm talking to myself going, what is this? This is ugly. I don't like it. But on the other hand, I love parts of it. So yeah, I was getting frustrated and I thought, no, do not throw this away. Talking to myself here. And yeah, I had a little moment there of what am I going to do with this? I finally just said, okay, just glue these flowers down and go from there. So that's what I'm going to do now. Take my glue and glue all of these cut files onto the colored part of this paper. You're not going to believe this turns out totally different than anything that I thought of starting this out. However, it is still using stash. I finally just decided to cut these out and I'm going to use them separately. So it's going to be very hard to tell that these flowers were made from this dark kraft pattern paper. And I know, is that considered cheating? I still use the kraft paper. I just disguised it as something else. And that's okay to do, you know? If it's something that you are challenging yourself to do and you don't like it, then change it. And so that's what I did here. Cut everything out. I pulled this other gray striped paper, and that is also from the Rise and Shine collection. I love this so much better. I don't know. The gray just sort of lightens things up, and I like the contrast with all of those colors. And so I'm going to go ahead and use pop dots, and this takes me a while. And I'm going to pop all of these flowers up, and it's going to instantly create a little shadow and create some dimension. And I love how that looks. I was much happier once I did this. And I didn't want to do too much on the background, but I did take a brush and some white gesso, and I just take some time to create a little bit of fading, I guess you could call it, around the flowers, just to kind of add a little bit of separation between the flowers and that gray background. It's going to help with the shadow effect, because I didn't want to do any more mixed media on the background, but I am going to come in with different colors that are all in the flowers and just add some splatters. So I don't do the packaging technique or use my brush for anything else. And the more I went with this, the more I was starting to love it. And I looked at those flowers and I just could not believe that those started out as a dark kraft piece of paper. And my intention was to do the entire background on that kraft, but I just didn't love it. And you know, in the end, it's my page, and if I don't love it, I want to change it. And so that's what I did, and I love these flowers. I think they're so pretty, and you saw how I made those. It was very messy and just slapping some color down. There was no rhyme or reason, but when you put them behind a cut file, or put that paper behind cut files like this, it just looks so artsy and so pretty, and the colors just blend together. And there's my Jenny Bee Blue. I did use it for some splatters on the background. And you can see when they dry, they're just very nice and light. And I love how that looks. I'm going to tape all of the flowers down. And now I'm going to go through some more of my stash. I'm going to use this random leaf that I found. I think that is from, I've got several different American Crafts collections here. Do you remember these sticker books? I've got, oh my goodness, I don't even remember the name of that. That might be from Rise and Shine, or maybe an earlier one. Maybe that one was from Sketchbook. I don't remember, but I'm just going through all these sticker books. I'm pulling out even more stickers that I find that I think match and look cool with this. A couple of flowers, and that's a little yellow doily, but I like the way it looks, so I thought, hey, let's make it work. I'm going to stick that in there. And I think I've got the book from Polka Dot Party, and one of the other ones, those are some Dear Lizzie. So I've got some Amy Tangerine and some Dear Lizzie going on here. And I'm just going to play around with the stickers and see what I like. And, you know, my goal is to use up stash. And so that leaf comes from, I think that's one of the Amy Tangerines. Yeah, there's two Dear Lizzies here, and I can't remember the names of the other one. I do remember Polka Dot Party, but I don't remember the name of the other one. And these are some of the stickers from these little books here, and I'm going to use this one. It's like a label. I'm going to use it as a background layer just to add a little line of pink, and I'm going to use this cute one with these kissy birds on it as another layer. And you know, I started to think I would always hoard a lot of these stickers because they were so cute, and I would wait until the perfect layout to use them. But I've had this stuff for so long, and it's to the point to where I'm like, you know, if it's been this long and you haven't used it, you're probably not going to use it. So just use it as a layering piece, just like I did there. You would never know that there were 2 kissing birds on that sticker. And I'm okay with that because I really don't ever know if I would make a layout with 2 kissing birds on it. And this is another cute sticker, but I just want the flower. So I'm going to cut it out and use that as a layer. So just when you pull out your stash, look at it differently. You know, you've had it on your shelf for so long. Your style has probably changed, and popular trends in scrapbooking have probably changed. So just look at things differently. If you can fussy cut it out, do it. Or if you can punch it, do that. You know, it does not have to be used in the shape that it came in, and it does not have to be used for the manner in which it is. Like, this is a circle sticker. I don't want the kraft background of that circle, so I'm just going to cut it out and use it as a sticker. It looks like a die cut. You would never know. So you just have to kind of think outside the box and do what you like and find things that you think look good for what you're making. And I'm going to use that really big sticker that's right there underneath my picture, a big floral cluster. I'm going to add a little bit of pink thread under it. I'm loving how this has turned out. I was very, very happy as I continued to make this, even though it's totally different than the beginning. And that's okay. I think this process just goes to show you that you don't have to throw away paper that you think is super hard to use. It's too dark. You think it's too ugly, but you still have it because maybe it came in a paper pack, or you bought it at one time thinking you would like it. Just put some paint on it, color it over, and use it for something else. Now, this is a stack of older Simple Stories snap pack. Oh gosh, I can't remember. It's a couple years old. I love all these stickers, and I love the bright colors, and I want to use some of these, but they're super bright, and my layout is more of a faded color. You know, they're not super bright. They're I wouldn't call them pastel, but they're not as bright as these Simple Stories stickers. So I'm going to find a way here in a minute to lighten those up. And my title is going to be very simple, Lovely Page. And here's some of these butterflies. I wanted to use them, but they were just too bright. So I'm going to brush on some white gesso and sort of just make them match my colors. And that's an easy, quick fix that you could do with anything that's too bright. You want to tone it down, just brush on a little bit of white gesso, and it's going to give it a little bit of a faded look. And so now these butterflies match a lot better, I think. Now that wood veneer that says Lovely, I've had that for a while. That's from Freckled Fawn. And then my stickers that I used for her name are also from those Simple Stories stickers. The last thing I'm going to do is come in with some sequins, and these are some sequins that I've had in my stash. I'm going to use 3 or 4 different colors and just scatter them around the page. I did add my journaling there, and I am going to add a couple bit more splatters down at the bottom and the date, and I think that's going to wrap this page up. This was super fun. The transformation of this was really fun to see, and I love how it turned out. I'm very, very happy with it. So I hope this gives you some ideas on what you can do with papers that are hard to use. Pull out some of that dark kraft and lighten it up and find a way to use it. Otherwise, it's just going to keep sitting on your shelf, or you're going to throw it out. And, you know, don't be wasteful. Just find a way to use it. So let me know if you have any questions about anything I used or anything that I did here, and I will see you guys in my next stash video. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.